Welcome back to my channel with shocking news. Michael Bisping and Paul Felder strongly criticized Ilia Topuria following his recent comments aimed at Team Khabib and Islam Makhachev. Their issue was not with the potential matchup itself, but with the timing and the contradiction behind Topuria's behavior. Both analysts pointed out that Topuria has repeatedly spoken about dealing with serious family matters and needing privacy and space to focus on those issues. At the same time, however, he has been publicly provoking fighters and entire teams that are known to respond, which creates an unavoidable backlash. Felder emphasized that it is unreasonable to ask for understanding and quiet while simultaneously starting public conflicts. Once a fighter opens that door, responses are inevitable, regardless of what they may be dealing with personally. According to Felder, you cannot selectively control the narrative once you initiate confrontation, because the MMA world does not operate in silence when provoked. He also explained that bringing family issues into the conversation complicates the situation further. When a fighter says they need peace and respect due to personal struggles, it puts others in an uncomfortable position. If they respond to attacks, they risk being portrayed as insensitive or disrespectful, even if they were targeted first. This, Felder noted, is why Team Khabib's stance on the situation makes sense from their perspective. Ali Abdelaziz also weighed in, expressing confusion over the situation. He stated that many people have shown Topuria respect and given him space to deal with his family problem. However, when Topuria publicly speaks about Khabib, Islam, and Arman without any immediate fight lined up, it becomes difficult to justify giving him a free pass. Abdelaziz suggested that once a fighter initiates these conversations, they should expect accountability rather than immunity. The discussion also touched on the idea that Topuria may be attempting to stay relevant. By speaking on high-profile names like Islam Makhachev, Khabib Nurmagomedov, and Arman Tsarukyan, he ensured that his name remains in the headlines, especially while an interim title fight is taking place. Even without stepping into the cage, he keeps himself part of the ongoing narrative. Bisping and Felder both agreed that while staying relevant is part of the fight business, it becomes questionable when a fighter is not actively competing and there is no clear timeline for their return. Talking about potential matchups and stirring controversy without backing it up with action can come across as calculated rather than competitive. In the end, their message was clear: if you want peace and understanding, you cannot simultaneously fuel conflict and expect silence in return. Josh Thompson recently broke down a high-stakes middleweight matchup as Reinier de Ridder prepared to face Borralho at UFC 326 in Las Vegas on March 7th. This fight carries major implications for the middleweight division, especially as the title picture begins to take clearer shape. With the championship landscape shifting, this bout could determine who steps into contention next. At the top of the division, Khamzat Chimaev is reportedly gearing up for a spring title defense against Nasruddin Imavov. With that fight looming, the next group of contenders is already lining up. Fighters like Sean Strickland and Fluffy Hernandez remain firmly in the mix, and there is a strong possibility that the winner of the de Ridder versus Borralho matchup could find themselves next in line for a title shot. However, there is also uncertainty surrounding Chimaev's future at middleweight. Just weeks ago, he suggested that he may leave the division after a single title defense in pursuit of becoming a double champion. He has openly discussed potential moves to light heavyweight or even a return to welterweight, claiming he can still make the 170-pound limit. That possibility becomes even more intriguing if Kamaru Usman were to reclaim the welterweight title in 2026, which could set up a massive champion versus champion rematch. Their first encounter was a thrilling 3-round fight that left fans eager for a 5-round sequel. A Chimaev double champ run would be a major storyline for the UFC, especially as the promotion moves forward with its new Paramount television deal. Turning back to the matchup itself, Thompson praised the fight as a smart and well-timed booking. Both Rainier de Ridder and Caio Borralho are coming off losses, yet both were highly regarded prospects who were hovering near the top of the rankings. De Ridder was ranked near the top of the division before his recent loss to Brendan Allen, making this a crucial opportunity to rebound. Thompson noted that Borralho brings strong striking skills and is competent on the ground, which makes the matchup intriguing. He pointed out that Borralho does not need to overly fear de Ridder, as de Ridder's takedown game has shown limitations. However, de Ridder's clinch work remains a significant weapon and something Borralho must be prepared to handle. The timing of the fight also works well for both athletes. With the bout set for March, each fighter has ample time to recover, prepare, and manage what will likely be demanding weight cuts, as both are considered large middleweights. Thompson also highlighted de Ridder's activity level, noting that he competed 4 times in a single year, which is impressive given the physical demands of cutting weight. He emphasized that consistent competition inside the cage is one of the best ways for fighters to sharpen their skills and continue improving at the highest level. Paddy Pimblett recently opened up about a tense run-in involving Arman Tsarukyan and also shared his thoughts on Ilia Topuria and the current state of the lightweight division during an interview with Papa Leo. Pimblett explained that Topuria's return to competition is likely targeted for late spring or summer, as personal matters remain his top priority. He wished Topuria well during this period, but made it clear that his main focus is eventually facing El Matador inside the Octagon, which he described as the fight he wants more than any other. Pimblett also addressed the possibility that if Topuria is unable to return by June or July, the UFC may be forced to consider stripping him of the title. Such a move, he noted, would significantly shake up the division and open the door for new matchups at the top. Despite the uncertainty around the championship picture, Pimblett sounded extremely confident heading into his own bout against Justin Gaethje at UFC 324. He stated that he is developing what he believes to be the perfect game plan, expressing confidence in his ability to control the fight and predicting that it will not go beyond the 3rd round. When discussing rivalries, Pimblett admitted that his perspective on Topuria has changed over time. Early on, he said he barely knew who Topuria was and assumed he was simply chasing attention. However, as Topuria continued to perform at a high level, Pimblett acknowledged that he has proven himself to be a legitimate and dangerous fighter. He emphasized that the upcoming January fight is an important step forward and believed the lightweight division is about to become even more competitive and exciting. While Pimblett showed respect toward Topuria, his tone shifted dramatically when the conversation turned to Arman Tsarukyan. He recalled briefly encountering Topuria in person and suggested that any tension came from members of Topuria's entourage rather than Topuria himself. In contrast, Pimblett did not hold back. When speaking about Tsarukyan, criticizing his behavior and attitude, he accused Tsarukyan of talking excessively without backing it up and claimed that his actions have damaged his own reputation. Pimblett pointed to several controversies involving Tsarukyan, including pulling out of a title fight at the last minute, incidents involving fans and altercations during fight week, while acknowledging Tsarukyan's win over Dan Hooker. Pimblett dismissed the performance by questioning Hooker's grappling ability. According to Pimblett, Tsarukyan has put himself in his current position through his own decisions, while Pimblett remains focused on moving forward, winning his next fight, and ultimately securing the matchup he wants most against Topuria. New training footage has recently surfaced online showing Justin Gaethje grappling with his teammates, with a particular focus on drilling arm triangle defense. During the session, Kamaru Usman was present, closely observing the exchanges before eventually stepping in to test Gaethje himself. What happened next quickly caught the attention of fans and sparked widespread discussion across the MMA community. Usman smoothly secured a choke and forced Gaethje to tap in the gym, a moment that immediately raised eyebrows. While training room footage should always be taken with context, the timing of this clip could not be worse for Gaethje. He is only weeks away from a high-profile title fight against Paddy Pimblett, a fighter widely viewed as a dangerous and opportunistic grappler. Seeing Gaethje get caught so cleanly by an elite wrestler amplified concern about how he plans to handle sustained grappling pressure on fight night. As the clip circulated, fans began questioning whether Gaethje's defensive grappling is truly at the level he has claimed. For months, he has publicly stated that his wrestling and submission defense have improved significantly and that fans would be surprised by how complete his game has become. However, instead of reassuring supporters, the footage appeared to do the opposite, pouring fuel on existing doubts and reigniting debates about whether his grappling has genuinely evolved enough to neutralize top-level threats. Paddy Pimblett was quick to react once the video began trending. In a now-deleted tweet, Pimblett mocked the situation with a brief but pointed comment writing, "That's your guy." The reaction aligned with Pimblett's ongoing confidence heading into the matchup, as he has consistently expressed belief that his grappling advantage will be decisive. His response added another layer of tension to an already heated buildup and further shifted public attention toward the ground exchanges that may define the fight. It is also important to acknowledge that training room footage rarely tells the full story. Gym sessions are often experimental, with fighters working through positions, defending submissions, and putting themselves in difficult scenarios to improve. Tapping in training is common, even for elite fighters, and does not always reflect what will happen under the lights. Still, optics matter, especially when a title fight is approaching and narratives are already forming. The brief audio captured in the clip shows coaches and training partners discussing technical details such as arm position, bicep pressure, and knee on hip control, reinforcing that the exchange was part of a learning environment. Nevertheless, with the stakes as high as they are, this footage has undeniably intensified scrutiny around Gaethje's grappling and raised anticipation for how he will respond when he faces a submission-focused opponent inside the Octagon. Recent developments surrounding Ilia Topuria's personal life have taken a more serious turn after new information was made public by his ex-wife. As many fans are already aware, the divorce between Ilia Topuria and his former wife Georgina escalated quickly and became highly public, drawing significant attention from both the MMA community and the wider public. With that level of exposure has come intense scrutiny, speculation, and emotional reactions from all sides. According to recent statements, Georgina has revealed that she filed an official report with the National Police Headquarters in Madrid regarding online threats she has allegedly received in connection with her divorce from Topuria. This revelation adds a troubling layer to an already sensitive situation. She claims that since news of the separation became public, she has been subjected to harassment and threatening messages online, prompting her to seek legal protection and formally document the situation with authorities. It is important to note that much of the MMA community has publicly shown support for Ilia Topuria throughout this ordeal. As a result, Georgina has reportedly faced a wave of hostility from individuals who have taken sides without full knowledge of the circumstances. The situation has become increasingly polarized, fueled by social media commentary and speculation rather than verified facts. At this stage, no detailed evidence or official findings regarding the underlying issues of the divorce have been released to the public. What is currently circulating is largely based on conflicting narratives, assumptions, and personal interpretation. Like many high-profile separations, this case has turned into a classic example of he said, she said, where emotions run high, but concrete information remains limited. Given the seriousness of the allegations involving threats and harassment, it is crucial to approach the situation with caution and responsibility. Online speculation and harassment can have real-world consequences, particularly when legal processes are involved. Until authorities provide further updates or verified details emerge, drawing definitive conclusions would be premature. For now, the most reasonable approach is to remain neutral and allow the facts to unfold through the proper legal channels. As more information becomes available, a clearer picture may emerge regarding what truly happened behind the scenes. Until then, restraint, empathy, and patience are essential, especially when dealing with deeply personal matters that extend beyond the sport itself.